What's up guys, it's Talon here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at how you can improve your solo cash cup skills by analyzing one of EU's best all-time pros, and that is Merijn. But before I get into this VOD review guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. Also, I recently just got my supporter creator code in the Fortnite item shop. If you wish to support me in that way, use code talon.fn, #ad. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. Alright guys, as you can see on the screen we have Merijn's POV. We're going to be going over this highlight video of his solo cash cup. As you can see the title up top left, he got first place. Merijn has been a very good EU pro for a long time, and in my opinion EU is the toughest region to succeed in, so we're going to take a look at the things that he does because his placement was incredibly consistent, kind of like the Mr. Savage solo cash cup VOD review. But let's just jump right in. First engagement, we're near Bony Burbs. Has spaz, has mobility as you can see, gets wall taken, creates space, goes for a shot right there. I like that as well. Playing from multiple boxes, coming from underneath is fantastic as well. We saw that in the Benji Fishy VOD review. Look at this.
Such a bully, bro.
Bullied, as he said, a very easy thing to say, but let's just take a look at just some of the good things that he does here in this first engagement because they're very crucial in ending fights quickly. We'll watch this in half speed. So as we saw, he has a lot of space. He actually ends up trapping this opponent in this cone perfectly. He realizes that and he goes, oh, I'm going to build boxes, get him in here, and then I'm going to shoot him down. I'm going to have an escape route back up to the left right here. Create a right-hand peek right here. I edited him down. That opponent has nowhere to go, cracks. And then instead of retaking the same angle, he goes right here, edits a peanut butter, ducks, swings this way. Good movement right here. And then it hits for 40 and then ends up eliminating the opponent very quickly. I just like that. You saw the great movement right there. I like switching up the angles, but both were right-hand peak, so good technical W king, and we saw that capture. That was a big theme in the Benji Fishy VOD review, so
Bully, bro.
Good thing to do.
Gold spaz. That's mine now.
Gets a gold spaz. Sits up right here on a right-hand peak. Double swings there, doesn't get punished for it. Good cone right there. Does get it right there. Cone slides, right-hand peak.
Yep.
Opponent is pretty bad. I'm not going to go over that too much. Just sat on a good right-hand peek. The opponent was pretty bad. We skip over here in this end game. He's frying this opponent. Sitting here in half and half. 8 kills, or 8 points, 4 eliminations. Got tons and tons of AR. He's going to eventually end up picking this elimination. This is just good recognition. This opponent is obviously not the most skilled player, and then he's going to get lobby held. It's a nice free elimination. Good crosshair placement right there, getting huge fry. Mitro Classics in. If you go to the corner right here, it's impossible to stop the spray. Gets it right there. Finishes it. Not much to say right there. But the only thing I'll talk about right here just a little bit, if you wanted to get in opponent's boxes, if they have floor cone on you, watch just exactly what he does right here, because it's a common technique, it's an exploit. So when he starts spraying, for you to automatically get through, you want to sit at the cone. The opponent's obviously not hitting it, but you will drop down 100% of the time if you sit here at the corner. There's no way to hold it. So it's just another exploit to know. Let's move on to the next portion here. And as you're already going to see, him just won't take the wall. Recognize. Freed. So this game isn't crazy stacked like some of the EU cash cups have been. He's sitting there on first move. He gets a nice big elimination. Now him jumping on this mats right here, I don't think it's worth, especially with him not having any white heals. And he's off of peppers, so one, he wastes his pepper. I think this was kind of a minor mistake. He loses a good amount of elevation as well. And he had enough mats to make it on a rotate, especially with paper. But he's fortunate enough to get out there. I believe he ends up getting an elimination in zone. He's fortunate to get up back to height again. But as you see, peppers being very good for mobility. There's no more eggs in the game, so the only 2 forms of mobility are peppers and spicy fish. Very crucial if you don't have a harpoon, if you want to stay ahead in zones and not use as many mats. Reconnecting. He's on a good layer. He's got time to pop a big. 8 eliminations. This high ground position is going to allow him to easily get placement points as everyone fights. Beautiful gets a nice little free elimination. That's also being up and ahead. Almost gets jumped on again. Smartly gets back up to his old builds to reconnect. Still playing ahead, looking for any eliminations as you can. Like I said, this solo cash cup is very placement oriented. You want to maximize these placements as much as you can. So sitting up on high ground is going to be a great way to do that. You want to make sure to really get this into a top 3, a top 2. Good connect right there. Immediately getting ahead, looking back for angles. This guy absolutely fried. He decides to play ahead, then looks back. Look at this free and clear angle. His opponent one time. Now his goal when you're in this situation, when you're on height and there's 2 players down below you, want to let them fight usually. Sit up on high ground as long as you possibly can. He's going over for little picks that he can. He only has 7 builds, so he can't stay up significantly forever, but these 2 are going to probably engage. Notice he's looking for angles. He's trying to get up and ahead. Spamming through. And then you hear exactly what you want to hear. Fantastic job right there. A really open peak right there, but exactly what he wanted to do. When you're in that 1v1v1 situation and you're on high ground, you really want to let that one kind of fight the other. They usually will get extremely low. He actually wasn't that low, but he hits a nice little crack jump and times it perfectly, and then ends up with a victory royale. Now, much more stat game as you can see. Ooh, really good fry right here. Harpoon, we talk about the season, incredibly clutch. Metro Classic Harpoon, almost full boxes. He's doing a great job of pressuring right here. Harpoon gets in eventually and ends up finishing it. 43. Now we see going from underneath, exactly same as before. Kind of, now you're going to see, this is why, because you can phase up right into the box. Talk about it, right? We saw this in the Benji Fishy VOD review. This is a great tip. This is a great way to get refreshes. One, we were talking about the Harpoon Mr. Savage VOD review, and then with this particular VOD review, same type deal. EU understands how to fight. Look, you're going to see him, he cracks through, he goes, okay, I'm not going to get it. He goes, well, I'm going to just phase up through. Like I said, you cannot, if you sit here and span, you cannot hold the floor. You will automatically go up 100% of the time. So make sure you're using that in your repertoire on weak opponents to finish fights quickly. This is such a good angle. So awkward for that opponent to deal with. He hits a nice 94 shot. Cracks him. The opponent's kind of lost with it being incredibly laggy. Now, fast forwards to this end game. Sitting in zone, looking back at opponents towards the edge. This is why you want to get ahead. You get free siphon pickups. Opponent dies, so he ends up going for the mats. Harpoons loot, so crucial. Gets a decent refresh. Good layer switch right there. And it gets away from all that congestion into old builds. He even wants to go up another layer. He finds the god layer very slow and methodical in his rotate, not panicking. Does get cracked right there. It's okay. Puts himself in a cone. Make sure he get his heals off. Trust that he knows he's able to get this big off. He does get this off. That's such a good ramp, but he doesn't need to psycho in for it, so he decides to drop down, but he ends up getting cracked by someone else. Nothing he could really do there. He just got absolutely one-tapped. He could have maybe psychoed in there, but unfortunately someone came in his back and one-pumped him, so GG's. Move on to the next game. Alright, we go into this next game. He tries to start the fight with some pre-fight damage. Does not end up working. Scuffs mechanically a little bit right there. 27 actually loses that trade. He's going to probably use mats to try and get a big off. That's exactly what ends up happening. 15 Cabbages, we've seen this a lot as a good healing item to kind of tank some. Playing very, very passively and slow, not jumping in, cycling, not getting on a lot of walls. Really great job right there. You saw that little ramp in there, makes it incredibly awkward. It's a nice little high wall right there. Easy high ground while the opponent's healing up. Oh my god. This is such good recognition right here. So that fight was very, he waited, right? He was very methodical and patient throughout. And this is sometimes what you need, especially like this is, I mean, 55 in 3 games is going to be up there for solo cash cup. So as he goes down here right here, he recognizes that the opponent's going to drop down, so he makes sure he gets that front wall. He cracks, and even if he doesn't kill, what does he do? He makes sure he builds that wall to prevent that opponent from escaping and prolonging the fight. He gets a very nice refresh, so really great stuff from Merijn. Let's continue on with this VOD review. Get a little bit louder. There we go.
Full bullied. Oh my god.
Full bullied. Now this poor guy is going to get fried. You can tell how horrible the servers are. Everyone being incredibly laggy. Now he's getting full pressured. He gets in, spraying.
Yep, I killed a kid.
Nice. He gets peppers and a refresh. And
Nice,
he
another kill. Let's go.
sees an opponent in a cone right there. 50 and half and half, really good.
Let's go, another kill. Let's go, bro.
Just kidding.
Really getting a good amount of kills. And like I said, peppers are really crucial right here. Just getting up far as he can. He gets absolutely fried. The noise is hilarious.
It was so clean, this kid was swimming and I had to report him.
That would have been really unfortunate. Look at his mats if he had gone down there at 424. Pretty much almost.
I don't know.
But he makes sure to eats another pepper, one for white heels, and then he just realizes, oh. He cracks opposite high ground. Him getting fried there actually gifted him a free high ground. You could tell. More than likely, if you keep spamming this guy, he has 800 mats. He has more than enough to be able to hold it. And no one's going to really be able to take it from him, especially with this early on. And he gets a positive zone back. He's going to really maximize his placement here. And he's got peppers. He needs to get up ahead. He needs to look for a free elimination so he can get some siphon. Anyone he sees is getting AR spammed. See, he doesn't have to stay reinforced because there's so many old builds around him. And this is what high ground could really do for you. That was a good, really, recognition that high ground was free. The whole lobby essentially gave it to him. He reconnects up here. Really good. See, he can single tarp in confidence. And he gets to an old build. Now he's incredibly confident. He can start looking for eliminations. Because he needs a siphon. Good aim right there. 52. There you go. That's exactly what he needed. He's going to bully this guy that's off second height. He's also going to spam from down below. Get him away. Prevent any height take. Pops a pepper for a little bit more white health. He actually gets another zone kind of pulled towards his direction. And this is what you want to do with this particular season. Like, eliminations aren't that much. Oh, he fries a guy to literally 30 HP white. But still, with only 400 mats, you see someone building off of wood. Look at this guy. That was really good from that particular opponent right there, actually. Making sure he saves himself. Now this opponent's trying to go for high ground. And so what do? You spray him off. You tell him, nope. You're not going to take my high ground from me. I'm going to spray you off. Burn your mats. He's slowly, methodically going down. Making sure to use one mat per. Essentially just not wasting a lot of mats. He's been on high ground this entire match, right? So he's maximized to a top 10. He just reconnects here. There's so much. Hits him again. Guy gets taken out. Oh, RPG. No longer in the game, by the way. Not going to have to worry about it. Taking high ground. This was a really big elimination as well right here. Good recognition to Chop here. That it wasn't on a lot. And he drops down this particular opponent. I believe it's another pro. Actually, I think it's Castery. Opponent runs out of mats. Yep, it is Castery. Gets a little bit. Takes the pepper for health. And he's done a great job of holding height this entire way through. Anyone that's even close, one or two layers, he just makes sure to pressures continuously. He's grinding more and more and more and more placement. He has no mats though, so he has to play on old builds of his opponents. 35. You can see as one gets out. He just sits there and holds. He's going to try and do the same thing. Misses his shot right there.
Let's go!
And then ends up coming to the elimination. Did the exact same thing as the last time to get that victory royale. It's a 1v1v1. The one takes care of the one. You come in and clean up. That's exactly how you want to do if you want to play your high ground. That was an excellent recognition. That endgame was almost flawless. He was able to make basically no material refreshes other than Castery and 8th zone work. Really great job of holding high ground, basically preventing anyone from taking it. He even had to deal with a little bit of RPG pressure, and then he capitalized. He waited till he got into that 1v1v1 situation. Once that opponent got cracked, he went down, came in. Really great stuff. Going to the next game here. Now here's someone Good 103 crack. He cones right here. Opponent is kind of lost.
Oh my god.
And that's a free elimination. Good recognition. He's got a favorable half and half right here. Great cone peeking right here.
Shit on.
The opponent cracks him. That was really good. Let's just talk about right there. We're going to see that technique later on as well. But this is a great way to get eliminations or refreshes in late towards end game, half and half, exactly when people are trying to move in. Now you just kind of sit here, you wait for opponents to kind of show up. Gives you a good peek advantage, especially if you're all metal. Now what he does that's really smart here, he makes sure he builds a wall right here. You can't see it, but that's why he has the pencil out. He builds a wall here, and the opponent gets scuffed up, and he has no idea, doesn't realize it, so he goes for it. The opponent actually does a great job of cracking him back. He's only 120 HP, but good crosshair placement, finishes it. Really good stuff. GG's. You need to be using that in your to get extra refreshes right before you go into moving zones. Really great stuff.
Shit on. Can I get that loot?
We don't know if he's able to get that loot, but 27 with 3 eliminations, over 100 points. Trying to go for a breakdown in this particular moving zone. He decides to leave it. I think that's a good decision. He has 300 mats. He gets in, conserves tarps, and he's on a pepper, so he can get there quickly. 200 mats. Oh my goodness. Yeah, left so open. I like that him not committing to that. He made 4 wide open epics. He was almost... Decides to tank a little bit. Look at this. Fantastic. This is such a good recognition of win condition. He basically takes a little bit storm. Look, there's one opponent on high ground that he doesn't even hear. Boom, good crosshair place his finisher. That was such a good... Now he gets high ground. Now he doesn't have the height, or he doesn't have the amount of mats to hold it. But he can really maximize his placement. Nice, he full sends for that kill. The opponent clearly had no mats. I think he loses high ground because of it. Misses that shot right there. Oh my goodness. But ends up getting a great refresh right there as well. And then drops to low because his mats are not very good. Puts himself in a cone. Tries to go for medkit. That's probably not the right play. Good crack right there. He's going to try and get in, but... Makes it into a top 7. Really good job. I think the only mistake was once he killed that Nogop skin and he went for that shot, he got cracked for a significant amount. He wasn't really able to capitalize. If he hits that shot there, he might be able to one-pump him, but then we move on to this next game, though. There was a ton he could have done right there. You'll still take a top 6. 51. Fantastic job right there. Look at this again, cone peeping. Like I said.
That, yep.
Yep. You see that again? Alright, now we go into moving zones again. Good recognition, that's his. He's going to cone slide. Doing a great job of pressuring aim right there. Now look at this. He's on a dead side of zone. Look, again, hugging zone. You see all professional players do that. Just take note of that. Boom. Always hugging one side of zone. Why? Because it takes half the mats to just protect yourself. You only have to build... He's so confident out in the open that everyone's so far behind him. He actually doesn't have to worry. Places himself in a cone here. Full boxes, cone slided. Almost loses that, but gets a nice refresh. It puts us back in. I don't like how much this skips her through. We don't get to see his full true rotations, but it is pretty fast-paced action. Top 5. 3 builds. He's going to take a mini and a big. Hopefully to maybe get another impact. You see someone in the back spiking through his tarp. Could have maybe gotten that elimination. Wow, he gets that one right there. Nice little one pump. Just better reload management, allow him to get that kill, that Midas. Nice, really great job. Finishes that off as well. But you're gonna see the opponent kind of does the same thing that's on high ground. That that Merijn has been doing this entire time. Is waiting for the 1v1 to finish. Sit up on high ground, use what mats. Opponent almost nearly cracks him. Merijn, I believe, is gonna lose that. Only hits him for 34. Good reload management. You kind of have not much to do with any mats. The situation is always just so stressful.
No! Oh my...
You maybe would have killed him if you had the pump there, but GG's. Really good stuff from Merijn right there. The only, I think, little mistake was with that Midas. If better reload management would have taken him off, but you'll take that second place for sure. He's already got 2 victory royales, a 6th place, a 12th place, and then there you saw that second place. Let's go into the next game. We're in half. Good recognition right here. Very rarely do you see the Prime at range, and he uses the Mythic. He's trying to bully this guy off. Opponent misses a shot. He's trying to get it, make sure he gets back. He can get the loot. He does a good job of making sure he holds his wall. He carefully goes and grabs the loot.
I got a refresh. I'm 5
And he got cap mats
Let's go.
because of the 2 eliminations that were in there. I like the layer switch to a nice clear open space. He's got a harpoon again, like I said, a very key component. Doing a good job of staying ahead. Look, 40 again. These games are incredibly stacked.
Chilling.
Look at him just constantly using the storm as his best friend. He's kind of conserve tarping all around. It's kind of a horrible area, so he goes out 1 out so he can make sure he can build protection. And then goes off to another clean layer. Look at him staying ahead this entire time. Snake tarping right here. Getting in. Maximizing his placement. Looking for picks if he can. Now that he's in zone. Make sure he retakes that. He's going to sit here and look back underneath. There should be some eliminations. Look at that. As soon as I say that, there's an elimination there waiting for him. Now, he has Harpoon. I don't know if he realizes it, but doesn't use it to get loot. That's something he could have definitely done there. Elimination does nothing since he was max paint. Just get him a point. But he gets ahead in here early. Same thing as before, right? When you're rotating these zones. Hugging zone. Why? Because you can conserve tarp and save mats. Boom, he gets up nice and ahead. Someone's on his same layer. What does he do? Get him off. He's very fortunate right there. That opponent cracks it from low ground. But he makes sure, since he's playing ahead, he can get all his heals off and not be concerned. He has 600 mats. He's not worried. Look, conserve tarps. Look at this. Solo tarping fantastically. Immediately, once he gets to edge, he wastes all his wood first and then boxes up and is hard. Creates more extra space. This is always good, especially for people coming in to get picks. Sits like on low ground. Cracks this opponent. Unfortunately, isn't able to get those finishes right there. And immediately, same thing, going to dead side of zone. He drops down another layer. He wants more clear space. He's going to get way ahead here and maximize his placement. Only going to be concerned without getting places. Always covering. Has barely any mats. He's sitting here looking back for picks. Doesn't get it. Make sure he resets his wall. Reload. Good reload management. Tries to farm up a little bit. And then decides to go. Trying to see if there's anything he can do. Hits a little bit. He's not going to challenge for height with no mats. Works into a top 5. Gets into some natural cover here. Holds for 10. Hopefully zone pulls back his way. It does not, so he has to drop down into chaos. 100 right there. Cracks. Beautiful use of the harpoon to finish that 1 tap. And now he's in a 1v1 again. Same exact thing, but with the opponent being on high ground. I'm surprised he didn't offer a big there. He didn't. The opponent does a good job of getting ahead. Unfortunately, harpoon took him a little bit more. He does end up taking high ground, but barely any mats. Only 7. He's going to get chopped. Misses the shot. Goes for the build. No mats. He's going to drop to ultimate again. He's going to try to harpoon. Misses the shot.
Second.
That is really great stuff from Merijn. He did everything he possibly could to make sure to maximize his placements. The rotations were absolutely flawless. I really liked the way that he switched layers. I really liked the way that he used the harpoon to get through things. And late game could have used it just a tad little better in that one particular elimination that he got at back. But biggest thing, he prioritized preppers for his rotations. He prioritized his dead side very textbook stuff. The impacts, going for impacts, were fantastic. The cone peeking got him a lot of important kills in that fifth zone that really set him up to do well in endgame, and that's how he got first, second. I mean, if you take a couple 1v1s difference, he could have had 4 wins, and this would have been one of the best cash cups that we've seen in a while. It's really insane to get 4 wins, but 1-1, 2 second places is really incredible stuff. A lot of great things to learn for solos with them being so placement heavy. You need to be watching these stack games, especially if you play in EU. You're going to be seeing this consistently if you're playing those upper tier lobbies. Not an insane amount of W King, so this was a great technical lesson on how to play end games, how to go for impacts, and there was obviously some good fighting stuff early on. But that is going to do it for today's VOD review, guys. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications, and I hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.